Hey, good morning and welcome. I'm Karen. This is Friday Streams Coaching and Tarot. So the cool thing is I got my new Somnia deck and I'm very excited about it. It's just a lot more crisper. I really like it. I don't know if you could see it on camera as well, but let me get not such a dark one. They're more, the photographs just look more like real photographs. In the other version, they're kind of dull. And these are just really like deep. I just feel like I really like them a lot. And then I did get an oracle deck, which I'm going to use as well today and see how that goes. So the issue with the oracle deck, I really like it. It's all his photography work, so it's pretty cool. And they're really beautiful cards, actually. But the guide that goes along with them is not in any kind of order. So the cards aren't numbered. They have the names on them, which I'll have to wear my glasses to read. But they also, again, they don't have so I had to create a spreadsheet. And I put them in alphabetical order so I could find the pages because they're not in any kind of order. That's the only thing I don't like. And especially since you don't know them, like I know these cards, right? I know the tarot, but these are new oracle. They're his oracle, so they're a little different. Anyway, let's get started. Let's give it some good shuffles. I hope everyone's doing fantastic today. Again, I'm really excited about this. I'm going to really try to get back on track again. I need to get things together and be on a schedule, and this is part of it. And I don't think I realized how much missing these days, no matter how busy I was, this has affected my day to day. So I'm glad to be back, and I'll be putting more time into it. I'm going to be putting more time into it in general. So I'm going to just do the regular reading, and let's get started. Again, keep in mind this is a collective reading, so take what resonates. And here we go. Well, so what do we have going on? We have current situation, 3 of Pentacles, present influence is 8 of Pentacles, future influence, 2 of Pentacles, lots of earth energy there, lots of grounding, these are all really good, and I like having the 2 of Pentacles there because it kind of offsets the 3 and the 8. And the 3 and the 8 are pretty powerful pentacles. So what is unexpected, please? Okay, 5 of Wands, challenge. 9 of Swords, strength. Knight of Wands, and where does this lead? We got 5 of Cups, King of Wands, 3 of Swords. Oh, I'm gonna go one more. 4 of Cups. Some things happen in there. Got the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Something feels really hard, like the burden of the 10 of Wands, carrying an extra load. I feel like I feel like that's why this whole 3 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, right? So the 8 of Pentacles is the energy of spending time really trying to accomplish something, become a master of a skill. And the 3 of Pentacles is, working with people that have different masteries, so to speak. So the different strengths in a situation. So this is showing that you have a strength that you're working on or have worked on, and that is influencing this partnership or group effort that's happening with this 3 of Pentacles in your current situation. Let's I gotta find my other deck. I'm gonna clarify it with the not that. That's the Ghost Tarot. I'm going to clarify it with the Illustrated Edition. I got cards everywhere. Well, I kind of have some other things laying out so I can easily look up those. Actually, I did want to do that. Let's pull a Oracle. And I did get these a few days ago, so I have spent some time with them, but What is our advice from the Oracle deck? It's self, I believe. Yeah, the self. So I'll put that there. I'll just put that with that one. No, I better put it down here. I want to make sure, so I'll throw on these glasses. Yeah, the self. And we'll talk about that when we get to the advice. So let's clarify this. Yeah, I'm doing it a little different. Sorry if I feel a little chaotic. Tell me about this Three of Pentacles, please. What is the Three of Pentacles? Queen of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Six of Wands. So this is something like you've been working maybe with a group, you know, getting, I would say this is about something that you care deeply about and that you're, there's a discovery going on here too. But I feel like there may be, because of the work that you've put in, you're getting recognized for something, and that is within this team or this group that you're working with. So this comes from recognition and doing something that you do care about with that Queen of Cups there. Let's look at that. Let's look at the Eight of Pentacles a little deeper. Now, the Eight of Pentacles is the influence. You're really working on something here. And yeah, there's where it leads is kind of rough. Okay, tell me about this. Oh, interesting. Seven of Cups, King of Wands again. We have the King of Wands over here too, and the Ten of Swords. So, I mean, you're deciding. Actually, what you're working on is putting an end to something here, and maybe it's a bad behavior, but I feel like with the King of Wands there too, it's like, okay, I have a choice to do something, and I feel like that King of Wands is, well, the King of Wands is very, you know, passionate, has a lot of energy. They're the doers. That Ten of Swords though, you're working on cutting away from something completely. Like you want to get out of something or end something, and that's what you're working on. And there is that feeling that's interesting to me because that Three of Pentacles is probably who you need as a group to help you end this situation. So that's interesting. Now, the King of Wands, I feel like, is the passion involved here. You realize that you have a choice, and your choice is to end something, and that's what you're working on. So it could be like, I mean, like for instance, how I would see this, only because I really want to retire. Like that's my ending. I want to retire. I want to end this part of my life. I want to end that. It'd be something like that. Like maybe you've been doing something for a while and you're just like, I got to end this. I've got to stop this. Again, it's a good thing that you want to stop because it's something that you're choosing to put an end to. The Two of Pentacles is in our future influence. I feel like you're going to have to figure out either financially or how to balance, how to make this work if you do put an ending to this. There's that Two of Pentacles is all about life balancing, you know, what I call it, like, you know, work versus home versus love versus fun versus all of these things. How am I going to balance this all out? How am I going to make this all work? Tell me more about this Two of Pentacles, please. What is the Two of Pentacles? Okay, the High Priestess, Four of Cups, Ace of Wands. Yeah, you know, the new, I think this is, yeah, the High Priestess is the understanding that you have that there's still something else that you need to get to here. That's why there's got to be some kind of balance. There's another there's something else that you need to reach. There is, maybe it's a financial thing, or, there's something that's not quite in your grasp yet. And I think what you're trying to do here is really kickstart something. And it's taking a little bit of that balance. And that's part of why you need to balance it, right? So, how do I kickstart something? How do I begin something? How do I start something if I haven't ended this yet? Because I know I want to end this, but I've got to kind of do both. And or deal with whatever that is that you want to end. I mean, if it's a relationship, like a bad relationship that's unhealthy for you, and you need to end that relationship, there's something in that relationship that has another life area attached to it that you're saying, okay, this is my issue. How do I bypass this and still not mess something up? Um, like if it's the father, or mother of your children, I mean, that's a big leap, but that's like the most, you know, easiest to explain. But see, and then you have the conflict, and I think, well, I want to end this, and I got to end this, but that's when the conflict comes in, and I think you're surprised because you want to do something, you want to end this, but there's a part of you that's conflicted about it, and that's what do I do? How do I do this? This is Five of Wands. So tell me about the Five of Wands, please. More about this Five of Wands. What's the conflict and what we're not expecting here? Ten of Swords, Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups. It's like, do I end it or start it? So for someone, I mean, the relationship in the Ten of Cups can be a love relationship. It can be a relationship with self, your higher self. It can be comfort in the day-to-day. It could be a relationship with someone at work. So keep that open, because this is not a love reading, but it could be about a relationship. So the Ten of Swords, the ending, you're conflicted here. Do I want to end or do I want to dive in? Because I am starting something new. So here, I mean, you've got two tens clarifying this, and in the middle of those two tens is an ace. So am I going to end this or am I going to start over again and do XYZ? So there's this pull between these two tens. The 10 is an ending. The 10 of Swords is cutting something away, doing away with it. The 10 of Cups is embracing a situation and embracing a relationship and making it even better. Where that ace in the middle is, you have to do something. This energy of the ace is pulling you. We had that, it was clarifying on that Two of Pentacles. So it's pulling you to do something. However, you're looking at both sides. And I think that there's an energy here in the now that it's like, I gotta do this. And then when you get that conflict in your mind, it surprises you because you're like, well, I really wanted to do this. And I think you do. It's just life. Like, you're gonna question yourself. And that's why the Nine of Swords is in your challenge. We know the Nine of Swords is about anxiety, stress, can be nightmares, bad dreams. I think of it as just being stressed out or anxious of not knowing how this is going to turn out. Is there anything we need to know about this Nine of Swords here? There's that Ace of Wands again. So there's something, yeah, anytime we have a new beginning, it can be stressful, but I feel like you're trying to start something, but you've been in rest mode, and you can see the way things are going to turn out. But I think that the stress is, how do I get out of this Four of Swords? How do I get motivated again? Because the Ace of Wands, Four of Swords, totally two different energies. Ace of Wands is go, start, light that fire, where the Four of Swords is take a break, relax, rest. But yet, with that Three of Wands, this is what can be created. So the stress is going to play a pretty big part here. I don't always see the challenge as something you can get through. You know, I see it as something you can get through quickly. This does not feel like that to me. This feels like it might be ongoing for a little bit until you make that final choice, which is not going to be easy. And we see that with these cards. Now, what you have going for you is the Knight of Wands. There could be a move coming in or a change. It's just beautiful. I swear to God, these cards. Um, and I and for those of you who've seen my cards, these are so different. Um, this could be a move. This could be travel. This could be just, you know, really diving in and saying, you know what, I've got the passion, I've got the energy, I want to get this done, I want to move forward. This is important to me. That's the feeling I'm getting here with that Knight of Wands in your strength. So you have the passion and the drive. Tell me more about this Knight of Wands and our strength, please. Is there anything else we need to know? These cards are killing me. 3, please. 3 of Cups, Temperance, King of Wands again. He's been showing up too. I feel like this, though, is you, the passion. And I feel like that your strength is you have someone on your side here. There's a group of people or people. We got the Three of Pentacles here too. So it could be friends. It could be work people. Could be family. And I feel like that you know that you can make something happen here with that Temperance. To me, the Temperance is a lot about alchemy. I know a lot of readers don't necessarily see the Temperance that way. I do, though. And making something happen. I always see it as putting that fire and water together to really embrace what you love and putting that passion in it. And then the King of Wands is taking that lead. So I think that Knight of Wands is saying you can do this. You have people around you. You can make things happen because it's important to you. That Temperance, you know, it's something that is kind of bringing you an equilibrium to your emotions as well. But that passion of that king says that you have that leadership to do this. So keep that in mind as you move forward to embrace those energies. And then this is really odd because it leads to the 5 of Cups, King of Wands, 3 of Swords, and then the 4 of Cups. So I feel like if I'm just looking at these in general, I feel like what happens is that you have a period of disappointment here. With the King of Wands, though, I feel like you still know that this is something that you want. You want to move forward with that. He's looking at this, though, and I think you're looking at the disappointment. And I think what that tells me, just by looking at the cards, is that you're looking at that disappointment thinking, how do I navigate this and keep that passion alive? And then the 3 of Swords comes in and then says, there's something missing. When I look at this 3 of Swords, I don't always get something missing with the 3 of Swords, but I get there's something missing here. And then you have to go on a new journey to look for that. So this is interesting. Let's clarify that 5 of Cups. I'm interested in the King of Wands too. Tell me about this 5 of Cups, please. What is this 5 of Cups? The Emperor, 9 of Cups, and the King of Coins. So there's some wishes here, and I feel like it has to do with, feels like there may be a disappointment. The Emperor is control, is leadership too. The 9 of Cups is your desires of what you want. I feel like there's part of you that wants more control. And I feel like this King of Pentacles, it doesn't have to be a male, but I feel like there's an energy here of there's something this person is doing to disappoint you and to kind of steer you away from your plans. And I feel like with that, like there's like you do, and you also don't really feel like things are really coming together. Like you feel like, how can I do this? So there is definitely a disappointment here. It's going to pull you back a little bit. And then I see though the King of Wands, and the more I look, that you're facing it head on. So you're not ignoring the disappointment. You're going, okay, I'm going to face this head on. Tell me more about this King of Wands, please. What is this King of Wands? What is the King of Wands telling us here? King of Cups, Four of Cups again, Chariot. So here's the King of Wands. Again, like there's so much more clear than the other cards. So the King of Cups to the Four of Cups, the Chariot. I think like you really kind of, this could be, I mean, I think this is an attitude for you. Like, I'm going to really go for the flow, but I've got to keep my eye on the prize here with the Four of Cups. And the Chariot, though, is the energy of continuing to move forward. I'm not stopping. I'm moving forward with this energy. That's the King. They're doers. They want to get things done and stay passionate. And I think you will. And especially with that Chariot here, it bypasses the Four of Cups. So to me, the Four of Cups a lot is about, you see the hand offering and the person's looking away. They're not seeing what's offered to them. And instead they're focusing on something else instead of seeing what's right in front of them. And I think that this is you seeing what's in front of you. You know what's in front of you, and you know you are going to move forward and have to move forward. There's something pretty like urgent feeling. And let's look at this Three of Swords, because the Three of Swords is separation, sadness. I almost get like something's missing. And let's clarify that, because that's, my gut is telling me like there's something missing here as you move through this. And that's why, like, then it goes to the Four of Cups, the Three of Swords, something's missing, Four of Cups. This is what I really want. So you're not going to give up on what you really want. That's the feeling I'm getting. So tell me more about the Three of Swords, please. Two of Cups, Knight of Wands, Hierophant. Maybe, I mean, this could be like a relationship that, I almost feel like there's someone that comes in, and the reason why you're sad is like they're ready to make some changes and you're like, no, I don't want to. So in other words, there could be some kind of commitment that needs to happen here. Um, and I feel like that I feel like, yeah, I feel like that actually the commitment is what is missing. The commitment is what is missing. And it does have to do with a partnership. That doesn't necessarily mean love. It means a partnership. And I do feel like with that Knight of Wands, there's still something that you want and that you're going for, and you know what you want. But that Hierophant is like, this is what's the missing piece to the commitment here, that you know, like, well, I need a commitment to even go in this direction. So there's an energy that you definitely need to do something differently. You need to put an end to one part, but part of what you're moving towards is where you need the commitment. And then the Four of Cups is that energy of the searching, looking for something. And in this case, his eyes are blindfolded. And if there's a rope between the buckets on the ground and he's got the buckets on his shoulders, if he doesn't open his eyes, he's going to trip and fall. That's a lot of what I get here, but I think it's even more than that. I think it's really chasing your dreams and making sure that you keep, it's not easy, but you need to open up your eyes and see where you're going. Because there's something here about what you want to get into after this ending that you have to really recognize as, this is what I really want to do. Four of Cups here. Ten of Swords. There's that Hierophant and the Four of Swords. Yeah, so you know that there's an ending here. And you're not sure on this new thing whether there's a commitment, because there's something here that there's definitely an ending. And the Four of Swords is, okay, well, have I really healed from this? And so part of you knows that you want to end what's happening over here, but the other part of you says, am I really ready to do this? That's the Four of Swords. And the Four of Cups is that in between. I know what I want, but it's not quite there in front of you yet. It's being handed to you, but you're not seeing it. So there is life at the end of the tunnel, because I do feel like that's what that Four of Cups is, until you are at a point where you can really identify it. You won't be able to grab onto that energy, and you have to be able to identify it. So there you have it. Let's look at the self as our advice. Again, this is the Somnia Oracle. So let me put my glasses on because this writing is small. I don't even know if I can see it, to be honest with you. Self is page 16, I think. That's super small. I got to make that bigger. I want to use, is this the right book? The reason why I want to use that, I have a big handbook here for the Oracle, but I also have this little one, and I like what it has at the, the self. Oh, it's so hard to read. So the key words here are wholeness, integration, individuation, identity, authenticity, and truth. So it's kind of like about finding your truth here. And then the key words are the recall a moment when you felt completely at peace with yourself, and explore that, and explore what led to that feeling. So go back and say, when was I really at peace? And then to get back to that peace feeling, what did you do to get there? And I think that's key here with this self card. And it makes complete sense with the reading because of that energy. Let me put that here. That energy of, there's a confusion here in the reading a little bit. And so I feel like, okay, well, it's because you need to, there's a missing piece. And the missing piece is exploring what led you to peace in the past and how to get there now. It's not going to be identical. That's always important to remember, but it is important. So there you have your reading for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.